Press with
Your sound was always muted.
And you got those new courts coming up top too.
Yes. Did I do it?
Yes.
Okay.
But we're on the recreational league.
Okay.
We're on the league.
I'll work with staff to get one down there on the temporary. Just to be aware of it, we actually have a unisex that we're looking bathroom that we're looking to place there in next year's budget, which would be more of a permanent structure.
Mm-hmm.
But under the circumstances, we'll see if we can get something down there.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you. All right.
And then Darlene also had contacted me about the nets. The tenant,
Oh, yeah,
nets
the
were kind
one
of
on
coming
the
apart.
left. Paul, my husband Paul went down and did some zip ties, but it's still coming open. Yeah,
Coming,
the net to the left.
coming apart from
Yeah.
the vinyl, the net and the vinyl.
Yeah. Thank
Forward
you.
that to me if you would.
Okay.
I'll send it on to Brad so he can actually work on that.
Thanks, Adele.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you want to.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right. So, you put that on the to-do list. Okay. So
Moving on to old business.
need a Porta John or something of that name. Kitmo at tennis court. All righty. Updates on projects. Are you ready, sir?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. We actually are moving. I talked to pickleball, speaking, let's just go with that when we're there. I talked to Trace Kerr last week, and he said probably the next couple of weeks, depending on the weather. Again, that's the issue we have this week. But depending on the next couple of weeks, it looks like they could be here to put down asphalt for the pickleball court.
Awesome.
I also talked with Morris Fence, and again, we're still waiting on the green fence to arrive. We had the availability of it, but it was going to be longer. So I'm not sure when it's going to be. I asked them to see if they could talk to their people and see when that delivery date might be, but I don't have a delivery date on it.
And then the restroom for pickleball up here will be next year's budget, correct?
If it's approved, yes.
If
Yeah, approved. Because we're talking about pickleball up here and then two others. So right now, we've got a big chunk of stuff going on as far as that goes. So I'm not sure what they're going to prioritize. They may prioritize that and leave something else. I don't know, because we're getting right now we're going to be pushing 2 million in capital improvements or more without and we'll have near that money in there. So, and then, well, that being said, I mean, it's not that we can't, we'll just have to prioritize and see what goes from there. Also, let's see, mowing right now, they've been doing some spraying. We've got our sports league agreements. Both of them are signed now, both soccer and baseball. Baseball is going to be a short season this year. They didn't have as many teams as normal, or availability of the people. So it's down quite a bit. So they're not going to start baseball here until mid-May. And it'll only go to June 30th, or actually the Friday before June 30th. I think June 30th is a Saturday, and it'll be the day before, the 29th, actually. Because they don't want to get into if we have a 5K during the Marebration, it's generally that Saturday, and we don't want to get into that. So, again, both of the play structures are here. There's nothing we can do for them right now. The other day, we went in there to try to open up the area again for when they got there, and we buried the backhoe to the frame. Brad got it out, but right now it's a slop hole. There's nothing we can do at this point. So, but they are here, just waiting for that. Okay. Bike racks. I'm looking at these locations. Memorial Park at the splash pad. Memorial Park at the south entrance where the two benches are in that area there. I don't see a need to put the bike racks at the openings to each of the parks because they're going to carry the bike through the park in most cases. But an old park, put it near the restroom area so that when you do get and go somewhere like that, you've got some place. We're going to put one at City Hall, one at the Civic Center, or this is what we're thinking. In Doctors Park, we're going to put one at the restroom area down here by the ball fields, and then one up here by the baseball or the basketball courts. Do you guys, is there one there that you'd rather see somewhere else? And if so, and let me know so we can look at that.
I think that gets it all covered pretty well,
Okay.
because there's even one at the library already.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We couldn't put it in the library. They'd have to do that.
right,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that area, there's already.
that's correct.
If you
So,
were wanting to lock it there and.
but in most cases, you need a place for them to park their bicycles instead of against the fence or just throw down on the ground.
Right, so the,
And where they're going to be sitting somewhere, you know. Again, we're waiting on Mother Nature for the mountain bike trail to finish it up. Just ordered another 2-person table for Memorial Park. It'll be going in that Danae, you probably know it better than anybody else in there. The little gap between the bridge and it's right across the walking trail from the pump house.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's right there on the north side of the bridge.
Okay.
All right, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Or put the table there.
Oh, good.
We also got to look, and we've got space on that east side. Once you get the most southern bridge, you cross over it and turn south to go to 7th.
Mhm.
In between each of those benches down to there, there's really almost enough room to have a table in between each one of them. So I thought we might open those up for tables.
That would be great.
And the more I look at it, over on the amphitheater side, coming off the amphitheater back toward the willows
Mhm.
or the weeping tree
Mhm.
setup, we've got really a space for one bench on the inside and one table, not really 2 benches.
Mhm.
So we're running out of spaces until we get the other done, honestly. Speaking of which, I think that's pretty much got it in updates at this point. If you're ready, if I can go to budget, if I may.
Absolutely.
Haddix Ferry is now our baby. And this is really an update as well. Huh?
That's part of the parks.
Well, apparently it was always, but the county's been dealing with it for all this time, but they pulled all their stuff out and are no longer going to maintain it. So it's up to the city, or we let it go back to Arkema. Right now, the shelter has been undermined so badly that it's an emergency situation. So I've talked to our folks at HDR, and they're gonna move for an emergency stabilization, bank stabilization. So it would allow us a given area that we could go in there and put riprap in without even getting a permit because of an emergency situation. That being said, after that, it's going to cause us to go into both the Army Corps of Engineers and the Division of Water. I don't know what, or Fish and Wildlife or whatever, but I don't know if we're going to get into EPA issues on any kind of, we're not looking to go out into the water, but we are looking to stabilize the bank. And so that's going to cost engineering fees probably more than anything. But we can, apparently, from what our engineers tell us, we could do an emergency situation and they can draft what we need for that to stabilize that bank, because we're right now we are in a situation where it wouldn't take much for us to lose the pavilion down there. Okay.
Gotcha.
So
Now, is this the one that's like,
The boat ramp
It's right next to
Down
it.
by the plane.
down there between CCMA and Art.
okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
CCMA. Okay, gotcha.
That's correct.
I was at first thinking
Yeah, I was
down below the dam, but I knew that wasn't right. Okay, here's where I'm thinking. Got it, that's
All
right.
right. So just to let you know that we're gonna look at moving forward with that.
So we're just gonna stabilize it. and
Well, how long
maintain it.
has it been there, John? Has it been there a long time? And is it,
I don't.
I mean, I wonder what
I
this
don't remember when that
long-term
agreement,
health-
the original agreement went in. It
I
was-
wonder if that location is.
I
mean,
can't
just-
remember. It was in, it was
passing.
before 2000. How far back? I can't remember. It was before I got here. Well before I got here.
That's
So
such a neat area down there, though. I love it. I mean, I remember picking up trash down there. It may have been with your family
I think it was my birthday,
a long time ago.
birthday,
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mhm.
I didn't know that's where we were. I always have this memory, but I didn't.
A lot of people don't know it's there.
No,
Yeah, I think, I'm sure they don't. I mean, it's probably not.
well, when it floods, that's where I always go to see how high the water is.
That makes sense.
I remember after the 11 flood, going down there after the water pulled back and counting the fish stuck in the chain link fence.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet.
They got stuck in like a net. They got stuck in there and couldn't get out.
Oh, wow.
Just died right there. So
Yeah, one time they were gonna put a water plant to help the plants out, and one location was kind of near there at least, and then kind of fell apart, like a
Yeah.
regional water system down
just to let you all know, we're looking at in our budget. Let's see here. We're looking at almost $36,000. And I've not got the final figure on that, but about $36,000 for the infrastructure and possibly the lighting for Memorial Park East, the gravel trail. That doesn't count the actual paving. I think the paving, I have to go back and look at the paving. I had a number on it and I can't, I'm not seeing it. I don't have numbers yet on the bathrooms. But we are, and I've got 15,000 set aside for 320 new chairs, stackable folding chairs for the Civic Center, as well as 20 5-foot round tables to replace. And we'll have 20 rectangular, we'll have 20 round, and then 320 chairs. Each table should, round or rectangular, should hold 8 people. So that covers you 320, which you should never get to that point in that building because 328 is our max. And that was set up really more in line for theater type or, seating where you're side by side as opposed to, you're not going to have enough room for all those tables in there, but you've got the options. And we do have, and that would give us the chairs we need for whatever else we might do as far as a theater type setup or a.
Right. But we're still renting that like crazy, right?
Yeah, it stays relatively busy.
hang
Almost every
on,
weekend is always taken up.
Let's see here.
And pavilions have gotten quite popular as well.
There's the Parks Department rental income. We budgeted 5,000 for this year. We're at right now almost 15,000.
Wow.
So about 3 times what we'd expected.
That's good.
That's really great. That's great.
So, yeah, it's done very well. People are all over it. So let's see here.
There's a quinceañera this weekend and she's rented it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow.
She's going all out for her daughter.
That's cool.
I'll look, make sure I've touched on everything.
Well, if you could back up to the Memorial Park East, you said that 36,000 is without the paving. So
That's
is
correct.
that
That's just the
lighting?
infrastructure. That's the lighting, the water. Because we're looking at adding I'll say 4 more lights. Putting lighting on the pergola Instead of putting a top light, we'll put lights in the pergola. And then we'll come back with a water line that splits the two soccer fields, goes to the other side. And it would eventually be a place to have a fountain as well as a spigot.
For the pergola, could we just put some solar lights in there
Do what now?
instead of having them hardwired
What are you talking about?
for the pergola? Because you don't need really, this need to be very well lit.
Well, we'll be able to put we'll wind up having the wiring at that point. It's not that much further from the last light. And we'll have wiring on both sides of it at that point. So we'll probably go ahead and, I'm sure they'll be on different runs, but we'll have electrical there.
Okay.
And the trees are going to create the issue there. We've got a lot of river birch around them. And so they're going to shade it where you're not going to have a good source of light. This way you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Sounds good.
The lift station this year is going in. They used the money for the curtains at the pavilion. They'll pay for both the playgrounds and installation. Wi-Fi, we may have enough in there this year to actually add the city Wi-Fi or the public Wi-Fi to the parks. I actually asked them to go back. Originally had submitted it, and there was a weakness in that southern end where we had purchased the fields, the Memorial Park, and I asked them to extend another antenna there to have, pick up the south side of the east, Memorial East. So
That'd be nice.
what else do you have on your previous notes on?
Garbage truck. I mean, that's not really us, but.
That's not y'all.
And
We're definitely going to deal with garbage truck, that's for sure.
Widen the trail.
I don't have but actually, the engineers and I have both come to a conclusion that we really don't need to. We can do that, but we need to do it the next time we actually,
That needs to be-
because we just did that like 2 years ago, and right now it would be just throwing money away. There's no way to pave 2 extra feet. You're gonna have to go back over the whole thing. So you're just basically,
Right.
wasting that. So, yeah. Now, when we do the trail over on Memorial East, we'll do it at 10 feet.
Yeah,
We'll just do it in there at 10 feet then. So that'll be part of it. So, yeah, because we were looking at well over $100,000 to do the other one. Because we'd have to go back. Like I said, you can't just do a foot on either side or 2 feet on one side. You have to do the whole thing.
right.
So you're talking about high dollar items now.
Repaving the concession stand area.
Yes, we might as well take that
That's
one
not
off.
even in the number yet, because we'd have to tear all that out.
Oh, gotcha.
So we haven't even got a price on that. Let me look at something right quick, bring back here.
It might be a good year since they're not gonna have a very long season. Also, no, maybe it's an issue.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be on your video right quick. Did that wake you all up?
Wizard God.
Okay,
Wizard, the
we're all
Wizard of
here.
Oz or something.
All right, we've got on our Memorial Park paving is 20,000.
Okay,
Okay. So it's we've got it in our regular, we've got park Wi-Fi at 12,000, banners at 2,500. The Memorial Park infrastructure, like I said, was at 36,000. We'll move that over to the CIP, which is the capital improvement projects. Bleachers for the pickleball court, there's 4 of them. That's about 8,000. But I do have that on here. Park and mountain bike signage, 10,000. Mountain bike features or trail features, somewhere around 25. Infield mix, we got that set up. Right now, I've plugged in 120,000 for park bathrooms. I don't know if that'll cover it or not, but I've got that plugged in. And that's the extent of it right now. And I know we're missing some stuff at the infield area of the ball fields. But at this point, with this other stuff, of course, I've got some high dollar items still coming up with the 282 bridge, our annual paving, citywide signage, and Highway 28 or a stormwater basin. That right there is 1.1 or 1.5 million. So, but is there something else that I'm missing that you guys want me to add that we haven't talked about or I haven't given you a price on?
I don't really see anything.
I don't think so either.
Sorry about the heart failure. I didn't mean to do that to you tonight.
No, it's all right.
I mean, I think we can safely cross off the widened trail off 2022, 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual paving, since we already had the asphalt in, the actual paving was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You're talking about 3 inches most likely. 2 and 1 most is what I think they'd lay out, 2 inches of base and 1 inch of surface.
You think better that trail system in Livingston County? A lot of trails back there.
Really?
It's right there, right behind the Minute Mart, the little campground there. Goes all the way down to like the Kentucky Dam Lock area.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Clue
it
me
used
in,
to
I'm
be-
sorry. I'm
yeah,
thinking Livingston County, that's,
Well,
What community are we talking
Grand
about?
Rivers is probably.
Yeah,
where
Grand Rivers?
Miss Charlotte's behind where Mr. Charlotte used to be.
Right behind the Scarlets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I used to run back there because it was really nice. It was shady and they had some features,
trail
like some
is it?
Indian mounds or Indian
Multiple.
stuff there.
I mean,
Multi-use bike trails, walk trails,
it's all paved.
not all of it. They got some
That may
that's,
have improved since I've been out there. Yeah, it was really nice.
I mean, you got some paved parts and you got some rock, gravel parts, and you got just.
I can also tell you that I was talking to Mr. Raleigh, who's doing the appraisals for Long Valley Road and our multi-use trail. He's doing appraisals for the state. He's a qualified inspector or pre-certified inspector or appraiser for the state. And so he's finishing those up. And so he's got to submit it to the state over here at Reedland. And then once they've approved them, they'll send them to us. So that'll give us, we can move forward a little bit. I don't know if we'll ever make it in time to do the construction this year, but hopefully we're getting closer. I really would like to see that finished before I retire.
We're right there, headed right before the block gets done at Kentucky Dam.
No kidding.
Oh, my
Working
God.
on that forever. Every time I go by, I'm like, look at
Look at
this.
the grass seed on the house.
So,
It's been a while.
yeah, I don't have anything back from, Bob was gonna give me, we're looking into, as far as the bathrooms, backing up to it. Bob was looking into, I've told him to contact the place out of Louisville, between Louisville and Frankfurt, that does those. And I've actually visited the site once before, and they custom build the bathrooms. They'll send you plans down. If you buy that, they'll send you the plans down so that, you know, your contractor can go in there and lay it out. And so they bring it in, crane it in on the spot and set it down and connect it. Just a thought, and then he's gonna actually see if he can get me some prices for stick build on site and see what we come up with there. But yeah, I'm not sure that 120 is enough. I just stuck that in there as a placeholder. So if nothing else, maybe that'll get us the one. But again, I've just got to see. I don't know what right now. Building materials and stuff like that are just out of sight, and it's just I'm not sure where that what it's going to cost us to do these. You know?
Everything's outside.
There, yeah, absolutely.
Affected every.
Mhm.
What else did you have on your list that I did not put a price out other than the infield or the paving down there in the ball fields? What else? Did you have something else in there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So we covered everything but that one.
The lift station at Old Park.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
Mountain bike signage 10,000.
Don't know for sure. Any more? Well, that's not just for
That was signs and something else. What did you say?
actually some features.
What is that? So something to put out there for them to
Mhm.
jump or whatever? Okay, so, because there was a 10,000 and then 25,000.
That's correct. This is
I
what
didn't get it
Blair
written down.
Blair
but-
brought those to me to put in there. So
Okay, so the
yeah.
10 was signs and something else. Do you remember did you get it written down? Or do you remember what it was?
I just had signs. I didn't get the rest.
that's trail signs basically for that. And I don't know that we
Like
need
a
all.
main
I don't know
sign
that we
or-
need all that.
Right, it's just for
But and there's other things that you may want to add. That was the 25,000 in
the features.
features, yeah. So although I'm not sure what or where, honestly, that's not. Before we go into that, I want to bring that back here to you all for approval because it was not previously approved by you all, even though it's been added to the budget. And I want to make sure that whatever we do, and I'm sure that it's part of that study that Blair had done. I'm not sure exactly what. I can't remember. She may have told me, and it may have, and I never trust my memory. It's failed way too many
But to
times.
put 10 in, then at least we know that would cover it. And then we don't have to go to that 10. If you bring it to us and say, this is a sign, these are the signs, this is what it costs,
Yeah,
then we approve it from there.
that's correct. That
Because
way,
that
if
does
the money's
prove-
approved
that does-
already, then you guys
Right, we don't
just come
have
to
to
it.
use it, it's just there.
You just approve what needs, how and where. You're right.
Yeah,
I just,
that does,
Or what and where.
once it goes to the council, 10,000 for signage.
And we'll be like,
Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me when I told you what the Wake Founding's budget is? That's 100,000.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing cheap about signage anymore.
That's true.
There's just nothing, of course, there's nothing cheap about anything.
so did you write down the master list as he was saying?
I did not.
Okay, because I
That's all you
got
did?
$36,000 Memorial Park East, lighting and water, 20,000 paving for that.
That's correct. 56.
Okay. 5,000 banners. That's for the light
2,500.
poles. 2,500.
Yeah. They were not near the expense I thought, and that's actually changing them out quarterly.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, and then 8,000 for bleachers for the pickleball courts, 74 of them. 10,000 for mountain bike signage and question mark.
features.
And then 120 for new park bathrooms.
And 25 for the features for the mountain bike trail. So yeah, 120 is, again, like I said, that's an estimate, and it's subject to change based on Bob's figures. I told him I wanted the figures tomorrow because we've got to put this together. We're going to send it out. We want to send it out Thursday because next Thursday, that's what I'm going to tell you. The 12th is when we're going to have our first workshop.
That's what I was gonna ask. Okay.
So, who are you and Danae coming, David?
That's class night.
Okay, well, if you don't need to, that's fine. Can you come?
5:30,
Thursday the 12th.
I think so.
If you can't, then, I really don't need more than two of you because then I've got a quorum and I haven't noticed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the reason I'm saying, I'd like to find out who's coming. At least I need to have at least one of you. If not, if two of you want to come, that's fine. But I don't want to get us into a situation where we didn't send a notice.
And I can be here, class night's not till 6:30, so I could be here, for 30 minutes or so. If we. but
I don't think that's gonna do you any good.
I didn't think so. Maybe I
'Cause
can be
that's
there.
gonna be a long night.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, hopefully I can catch
Calendar
the
now.
second one.
so. Are one of you guys available?
Possibly, I'm doing tennis, but I think it's on Tuesdays, they've been moved some other different nights.
I won't be able to do the 12th.
Okay.
But do you know when the second workshop is?
I don't know that we'll have one.
Okay.
That's, it just depends on what goes on and
Yeah.
and what they'll talk about. It may just be that we have if water's not ready, maybe water will come in later. But I intend to have everything that I'm used to having in the general fund ready for that night. Because we've got everybody. So,
Okay. So could you possibly do it?
I think I could, I mean,
Okay.
I'm.
all right, so you and David and Jeff, all right.
So, do I see add it to the calendars?
If you would on
5:30.
5:30, the 12th of May. We can't have it on the 5th, that's Cinco de Mayo. Can't do that. It messes with the celebration.
So what's the name, what do you call it again? It's just,
It's just budget
budget
workshop.
workshop.
Yeah, budget workshop.
So I at least can recognize my calendar.
Where do I need to go?
Yeah.
Where do I need to go?
What I
think
will do is
remember
when I
right
get
now,
some final
I
numbers,
looked it up,
I will send those out to you in an email just to let you know. I don't
Yeah, if
need you
can't
to
make it,
respond
I'll let you know.
back. I'll just tell you what it is so you'll know for your own.
That's fine. I think I think.
If you want, if there's a question you have, don't hesitate to call me. Okay.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to new business.
You said the sports use agreements both signed. Did anyone from soccer talk to you about possibly lighting the field, one of the large fields?
Not other than that one night.
Okay.
And I've never heard another word from any of
Okay.
them.
Well, that's what one of the council members spoke to me about that too, but it was still just that lady saying that. So, I mean, I feel like until they.
No one has ever spoken to me about that.
Okay. Just mentioning that the night that they were.
That's
Okay,
correct.
that's all I heard too. So I feel like they would come to us if they really needed that.
I think what we need to do is if they're interested in that, they need to have a whoever is on that governing board
Mhm.
to have members or representatives come in. Let's talk about it
Mhm.
with you guys because the place that we'll put them is right down here in Doctor's Park. We're not putting sports lighting in Memorial Park.
Oh, that's right.
So if they want something lit,
We may have
It's
to go back to.
whatever it is, they need to make sure they know what they want lit,
Mhm.
and they'll have to be back here.
That's right. Yeah. So the big field may have to come back here like it used to be back in the day and smaller fields there.
So I don't think they want to light the U12. I think they want to light the U10s. I don't know that. It may be they
Right,
want to light
right.
the U6s. I don't know. But I just don't know what they're wanting to light.
Because I think this was the Dynamo teams. She was coaching for Dynamo, which is.
Whatever it is going to have to be in Doctor's Park. So if it's down in Memorial Park currently, it'll have to be moved and they'll have to swap fields or something.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, that's good to tell them
And I did tell the president of the soccer association, that's
to
what we
come
need.
here.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah,
looking,
that would be good.
at almost a $200,000 investment.
How many?
And so
how many
once it's
lights
done,
would
it's
you need
done.
To do, I mean, if you wanted to light the fields down there, how many would you need? You know, And how many
I'm,
fields
I'm
would
not
that
a lighting
light?
expert. I would say if you had them side by side, if you're talking about two, like the two U10s or whatever down there, I'm thinking you're gonna need at least 9 poles.
Oh, okay.
And that means that 3 of those poles will be split with double heads. They're shining on both sides. That gives you 1, 2, 3 on each of the fields. And maybe not. Maybe you can get by with 4
Yeah, I was wondering how
per
many.
field,
And
or
how many you could light.
6 total.
You know, if you put one in the middle and there were 2 fields, but I don't even know what they have
See,
going on down there.
that's my thing is I don't know that light will shine that far. Now, there might be enough that you can adjust heads to shine that way where you got overlapping light in the center,
Right, that's what I was thinking. It's like.
but you'll definitely have to have,
two.
on the outside, 2 on each outside,
Okay,
and the 2 in the middle, maybe, if it's close enough, might be able to run dual heads in
Right.
both directions.
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
So but I just don't know.
Yeah, it'd be good if they would come.
So anyway, 6 to 9 is going to be your spread on that, most likely.
But still, we're talking about a substantial amount of money.
Oh,
So
yeah.
not just something that.
We
In
spent-
case you'll use it, here you
What
go.
was it?
Yeah,
What
we
we
didn't
spent
know
on our light poles there for the field 4 and field 3?
Mhm.
That was over $200,000 back in the day when it wasn't so high.
It's a lot of money.
It's hard to justify that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just if they
Temporary
might.
light.
I'm thinking that, maybe you want even one field is
How
not
often
going to
do
be
they
cheap.
need anyway? Did they say how often they're needing lights?
I think that the problem is in the beginning of spring and the end of
Probably just
fall,
the tail.
you
Yeah,
know,
before
because
daylight
it's,
savings.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
for-
sure it's probably. not.
We're talking about sport lighting. I don't know what the requirements are.
And I wonder if we gave them more fields, if they, or, like, are we using all the,
We don't have any more fields to give.
what about the one that's on this side that we used to play on all the time?
On which side?
Like that's on this side of the road, right there.
Right here behind us?
Mhm.
There used to be 2 fields there, even just 10 years ago.
Well, we're putting a parking lot in behind. The idea is to put a parking lot right behind City Hall. So that everything else would be on somebody else's property. Because there's not really enough room even
Oh,
on our
right
property.
there, like where the fire station.
Right behind the fire station, we go
Mhm.
straight back.
Okay, but with the parking lot.
That's where the parking is gonna go.
Okay, so that really, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, this is just open field right here.
Mhm.
I mean,
Hello?
before spending $200,000 on lights, wouldn't it be smart to say,
Yeah, simultaneous soccer going on multiple fields.
right, like just give us some more fields and everyone can practice at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But
Because I mean, lining that field right there, I mean, that used to be a soccer field, and if it's not our land, it's probably someone we can talk to.
Yeah,
I
somebody's
don't know.
family owned it.
Yeah. They always used it for that. I don't think it would be a big deal. And even like, but then, so, you know how this was, soccer was all here. So even
Yeah, there
back
was no
there,
other
is
park.
it, what's the problem with behind the fields that we have now? Is that frisbee golf?
I think that's, it gets into disc golf
Because I
No,
mean,
not
over here on
behind
this
the,
side.
when we played, there were no soccer fields at Memorial
Not
Park, and this
behind
was
the-
all
not
it.
behind
So we're
fences,
talking about-
ball fields. That area's still open.
It'd be a
Right.
lot
So
cheaper to
use that.
line some fields than to
That
buy.
used to be the old
New
football
lights.
field. I don't know how far. Because we've got three T-ball fields down there now. One's in the old location, the other 2 are up closer to the middle of where it passes through. You get 2 there, then 1 off on the other side.
But they're not using the field behind field 2, which was previously used for soccer.
Mhm.
Used to, that was all.
Well,
soccer.
that's up to them.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, it would be cheaper to line fields than it would be to buy lights. If we can give them more fields so that they're all practicing at 3:34 or whatever time they practice. Does that make sense?
well, could
Would
be
that-
like-
Would that help them more than getting lit fields?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they,
That's a conversation we're gonna have to have. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if they've already, maybe that's why I hadn't physically or gone and formally approached this, as they may have looked into that. I think they could be too. That they decided.
See, they've never approached me. The only ones that ever said anything to me
So it may not
is
be-
the one lady, and then, council lady Hale said something to me about it, but it was based on what that lady said the night at the
So
meeting.
it's not even- hadn't got very far on there yet either.
That's what I say. If
Yeah,
they
it's not-
truly
they
need
were-
more fields, I think they would have
Yes.
come to us already.
Right. Sounds like it's just.
And it's all based on the need for early season lighting.
Right, so, I mean,
And, you know,
And I've made it clear to the board, I'm on the park board, to please come and talk to us anytime. you
okay,
know.
good.
so I
Okay,
mean,
and I know
it's,
some
we
people,
just
so
have
I'll talk
not.
to them as well. I mean, I would love for them to have what they need,
Right,
you know, and if there's a better way to do it, especially if
Sure.
we're doing bathrooms over there, and then just like,
Mhm.
just using that area if
Mhm.
they need it. But I think the thing was soccer took a, you know, the
Yeah.
cycle, it's
Yeah.
cyclical, so then they didn't need all the fields. But, because that was, like I said, we didn't even use that.
right, right.
We didn't have Memorial Park, and that was all soccer fields and baseball,
Mhm.
and it seemed to be. fun.
And I don't have a problem with us considering lighting, but I think what's gonna have to happen is they're gonna have to set whatever they're gonna set there and make sure that they understand that's now permanent.
Right, that's why. I'm
Because you
wondering if
can't
it's-
change, you can't do the changing otherwise, because the lighting is set up for specific fields, not for changing fields.
Right. And I agree with no lighting there, with the lighting here.
Mhm.
You've already got lighting here,
Mhm.
you know, like with
Well, you want
baseball.
sports lighting here. You
Right,
don't want it down there in the Memorial
that's
Park.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't, like, I agree with, don't mess with it there. So if they
Mhm.
want to have the discussion, it would have to be here. But even before that, I think we just give them more fields.
I agree with that.
If that would work, I don't have a problem with that, because we do have some space to use, and it was used. I think they didn't need it and they pulled back on it.
Right.
And so. you
And
know,
they might not be thinking that, you know, they might
Right.
they might think that we've got all the fields we can.
Mhm. And I think they have tons of little bitty ones right now. And I mean, we actually have, my son's team, U14, we actually have 15 kids. That's a lot. And
That's
then
a
I
lot
think
for
we have
you.
two U12 teams this year, so I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's more than normal.
Yeah. That's good.
I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Somebody had just sent me also a picture of some cool tables that had solid umbrellas. They weren't fabric or anything, for like around the splash pad, not in, but around. So I just said I would bring that up.
So it'd be tables with,
Yeah, kind of like, let me find a picture of it. I took a picture because I had no idea what it was. I think it's at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. Yeah. You know, this permanent things like they're not fabric, you know, they wouldn't.
It's like a
Or metal.
hard plastic.
Yeah.
Our classic.
Mhm.
And they've held up well too. They've been there for how many years?
Yeah.
Doesn't really go with what we've got down there, does it?
I didn't know if it was possible to kind of make it, you know, see about that pewter looking color or whatever color we have, the dark metal, where it wouldn't be, you know, red or blue or something flashy. It would still be.
not a circus.
Right.
Where are you thinking about going with these?
I was just, yeah, somewhere down there. I don't even really know where. Just when we have the events, when there's lots of things going on, there's just no shade right there in the middle. You know, we did buy the umbrellas that will swing, but those really aren't permanent structures, of course. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking of a couple of them, not a whole bunch.
There's space, there's plenty of space. If
And
it's,
I know you just don't want it sitting out in the middle of the field either. You don't want it to be tacky.
Well,
like that,
first
so.
thing we do is we'll have to pour concrete for it to sit on. Then where we go with these, you go with concrete, because otherwise then you gotta roll it, move it, or do something to clean,
to
to mow
down
around
there,
or something like
yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
it's a constant. Anything we add is something else we're working on, okay?
Right.
You
So,
gotta
I
go
mean,
around.
Just ditch that. No, I'm just saying, I just.
well, with one of the things that we are looking at because of this, and I'm not trying to get away from, what I'm thinking is that we're adding more of the two-person tables.
That's true.
And we're getting where that's the new thing with the two-person tables.
Mhm.
When we put them in, we try to put them where there's shade.
That's true. Yeah.
So you want to try to keep the openness of the interior,
Mhm.
because of the splash pad and because of that, because the more trees you put, the more you're going to infest that
Right.
system with the debris that comes off of them.
Right.
The other thing is wherever we have stuff on the periphery that doesn't have, maybe we want to consider something with that.
Mhm.
The only problem up in the very front by the flagpole
Mhm.
is putting the trees there blocks everything that's in the park.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we couldn't do that, but is that what we want to do?
Right.
Or the pickleball people wanting some kind of shade down by their court.
Oh, yeah. They did
Will
talk
this
about
work on that? I mean,
Oh,
is
you
this kind of a
want to
Do
shade?
it, yeah.
Is it a
No,
permanent?
what they're
shade?
wanting is something over the bleachers.
I mean, I didn't know if that would, which I didn't see what you
But
had.
they
but
don't
I
have
assume
bleachers yet,
something-
do
No, but when we do get
they?
it, yeah.
They're bleachers
Yeah, that's in this next year.
that are coming.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of that exit, but you pass 5 Star or West Community Technical College, you're at that, I don't know, like third or fourth light.
Yeah.
On the left. They've
I
got,
do.
you can see them right there from
Yeah.
that traffic
Yeah.
light.
It's like the old
picnic
West Kentucky
tables.
Tech
It's like the
part.
nursing.
Yeah.
or the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Because I noticed it the other day when I was coming out.
Yeah.
The sun hits that umbrella just right.
Oh, yeah. Blind. So I just.
I want to
thought I'd
open
bring
up
that
on the south side of Memorial Park East. I want to open up that area. We narrow past the soccer field. We narrow where the little drainage area runs across.
Mhm.
We narrow there to our narrowest point, and then from there we go off at an angle to that fire plug. Okay, and that opens up grass area below, close to 7th Avenue.
Mhm.
I'd like for us to consider setting aside a place for the picnic table that was put in over by the amphitheater with the arbor on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to set something aside for that,
Mhm.
because that's a considerable, in the day when it was first purchased, I want to say maybe close to $6,000 to $8,000 for the table.
Mhm.
And then we put you're gonna spend again that much or more putting the concrete and the arbor over it, or the little shelter over it.
Right.
But it would look really good down there on that south end
Mhm.
when you
Now, is
first
that a
come in.
memorial table? Did somebody
It would
purchase
be,
that? It
yes.
should be.
Oh, yeah. It's a
That's good.
memorial. Yeah.
So there you go.
Nothing out there everything out there is memorial.
That's good.
And the reason, it's kind of a 1-for-1 type thing. They buy the memorial structure.
Mhm.
We pay for the concrete and the landscaping. So it kind of it's a hand in hand thing. And honestly, we've really begun picking up again on people wanting to do that.
Mhm.
And I'm afraid we're going to run out
Right,
of
I saw
locations.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but the good thing is we'll
We
have
might-
that new. Could we put some around the soccer fields, or like, could we extend once we make that? once
oh
we
yeah,
do
we're going
that?
to.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm
then
not
we'll
going to
be
do it
on
until we get
outside.
the walkway.
Right, but in the
Once that's
future,
done, the infrastructure, then we can come back and add those. And
then
we're
we
looking
start
at
at 7, start putting them on 7.
one thing I have to be careful of is I have to keep them at a safe distance from the fields.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You definitely don't
right,
want
somebody
to use
running
running
the
into
street.
the
Book and get fresh.
Yeah.
So on the other side,
So
so
we,
facing the soccer.
but yeah, we
So
got
we don't get
places. Of
cluttered.
course, we've
Yeah,
got
that's-
two
that's
down there on the
what's
south
in
end in that pergola,
Right.
and we can add some more along that. The other thought was maybe putting in tables. I really am leery about going on the inside. I don't know why. I'm going to have to do it eventually, but on the inside.
Of the, yeah.
But to do it, we need to do something smaller and keep our distance from everything.
Mhm.
But really, I think that's the thing. That's the wave of the future. The benches are not going to. The 2-person tables,
Mhm.
are going to be the future of what's going in down there, because a lot of them, the views aren't as good looking outward, but with the table, you're not looking outward, you're looking the long length of the trail.
Right.
And so you get your view that way. It reorients the individual
Right. Yeah. I
and
like
still
those.
gives you that. That's a little more expensive, but actually they're multifunctional. I mean, not only you can eat on it, but you can bring board games and play board games on them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So, and we try to keep them in a shaded area. The ones, you know, we try to plant them in and around trees, set these up so that we've got the shade there. You don't have the other issues that you have like that.
And during COVID, we had people put their computers.
The Wi-Fi, use
Oh,
a free
yeah.
Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
And of course, we get the
Nice.
the Wi-Fi set up, that'll be even better. What would you think about some sort of shade structure? Not trees, but some sort of shade structure around the ones at the splash pad. You know, there's 6 benches inside that splash pad.
Mhm.
What would you think about maybe a shade structure like we've got down here? It's not really a full structure, but it's the canopy like we've got down here by the baseball fields that you can put on and take off in the fall, but put on in the winter, in the summertime.
And black. I mean, I don't know if you do black, but definitely not a color. Are you talking about the one that's like blue
blue.
down there?
Yeah, I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do a color, but I think that would be good. I think people are getting roasted.
You might want
over
to do white or something like
Or
that.
white, yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's
Or a tan or something like
Yeah,
that.
tan or even dark green.
dark
not
green, just to
blend
blend.
with the,
Black would probably
Might
be
do
too
it.
high.
yeah, maybe, but
But
we do have a lot of people say they need shade. And
I'm
I
just
always
thinking
say,
if I-
you can go on the outside to the
I would say
tree.
you don't have shade, you don't have much shade at the swimming pool.
That's right.
That's
It's the
true.
same
That's
thing, you know, you go there to be in the sun
Cool
and
off.
swim.
Uh-huh.
But it's something to think about. If there's a way to do it where it looks good, and especially if you can take it down, so you're using it like the summer months when it's the hottest.
Right.
Correct. We might want to look into that and, you know, for maybe something in the future. I don't disagree with what the overall thought process is, but I'm not sure that that's the right fit for this area.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing the 2-person tables, so let's see if we can do those in the shaded areas, so you don't have to put the shade structure over it.
Right.
And that leaves the open area open. You've got concerts and stuff like that,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
and I guarantee you there's as many people sitting in vehicles down there or there are sitting in chairs.
Mhm.
exactly. Golf carts.
So
Yeah,
you
you're
start
right.
putting all this other stuff in there,
That's right.
that's gonna back that down.
Mhm.
So that's the only thing.
Just kind of postpone it a little bit, yeah, wait, see how they.
I'm
yeah,
just trying to-
Yeah, I can see how they, everybody.
Keeping the centers of them
What you're gonna add
open and use the periphery for our seating and tables and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that, you know, we might want to, if we can find something that you guys think goes with our decor and could be nice and used down there, we might consider that.
Oh, yeah. I think that's good.
So,
That's all I have. Nothing new from Mr. O'Daniel about baseball, that kind of gone away.
we have not been able to actually meet. Every time he gets, well, you know, of course, I understand his schedule is crazy like it is, but, you know, and I try to set something up, but it doesn't either work with his schedule or it doesn't work with my schedule. So, you know, we've tried to talk and we've talked a couple of times, but it's not, you know, we're not getting any time to really sit down and hash some things out.
And has he considered the area by being a Harbor Lights? Well, that's the dock on Line County side.
Oh, the old Grand Rivers ball field up the top of the hill.
Yeah, has he considered that too?
I don't know.
We got a ball field already up there.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
good
I
flag.
used to- yeah.
We actually used to play baseball there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good size. I thought it's really.
He had said something about this field down here, but he wanted us to put lights. Said something about us paying for the lights. for Old Park. But I'm going, that's not really,
Yeah, Old Park's
well, I don't know where you're gonna put all the people, you got a parking lot there, but I don't know how big it is in comparison to what you might need for that.
Right.
Again, we just not had a chance to sit down at a convenient time for both of us and have a conversation. So,
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:31 p.m.
Who seconded that?
We both did. I don't know who said it first.
I think I did it.
All right.
I think.
You beat me to it.
That's what I know.